The Nazi brothers who started rival shoe companies. Do you wear Adidas or Puma? Most people don't realize that behind these brands lies one of the most explosive family feuds in business history. Two German brothers, bonded by blood but divided by ambition, ideology, and suspicion, started a war that would shape the global sportswear industry forever. This isn't just a story about shoes, it's about betrayal, Nazi Germany, World War II, and two companies that grew out of a family torn apart. Humble beginnings. In the small Bavarian town of Herzogenaurach, Germany, Adolf and Rudi Dassler were born into a modest family. Their father worked in a local shoe factory, and their mother ran a small laundry. After World War I, Germany was in chaos, but Adi had a vision. He began making sports shoes in his mother's washroom using scrap materials like canvas and rubber. Rudi, the older brother, was more outgoing and business-minded. He joined Adi to form the Glory Dassler Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory, in 1924. The blend of Adi's technical brilliance and Rudi's salesmanship made them a powerful team. They crafted high-quality athletic shoes, gaining attention from athletes and coaches alike. Their big break came during the 1936 Berlin Olympics, when American sprinter Jesse Owens wore Dassler shoes and won 4 gold medals. The brothers were suddenly on the global stage. But behind the success, cracks were beginning to form. The Nazi era and rising tensions. When the Nazi regime took control of Germany, survival meant more than just making good products. It meant aligning with power. Like many businesses at the time, both Adolf Dassler and Rudi Dassler joined the Nazi Party. On the surface, it seemed like a necessary step to keep their shoe business alive. But behind the factory doors, the brothers were already growing apart. Adi was a quiet perfectionist, obsessed with designing better shoes. Rudi was loud, ambitious, and suspicious. World War II pushed their fragile partnership to the edge. Rudi was called into military service, while Adi stayed back to manage the factory, which had shifted to producing gear for German soldiers. Then came the breaking point. Rudi was arrested by the Allies and suspected of being a member of the Gestapo. He believed that Adi had betrayed him to protect his own position. Whether that was true or not didn't matter. The trust was shattered. What started as brotherly competition had now turned into cold-blooded rivalry. By the time the war ended, the bond between the Dassler brothers was gone forever. They couldn't work together, speak civilly, or even stand to be in the same room. Families, friends, and factory workers were forced to choose sides. And with that, the stage was set for one of the most intense business rivalries the world had ever seen. Absolutely, the split Adidas and Puma are born. In 1948, the Dassler brothers officially split. Adi named his company Adidas, a combination of his nickname Adi and the first 3 letters of his last name. Rudi tried Ruda, but later changed it to Puma. The split was so bitter that it divided Herzogenaurach into 2 camps. Families, workers, and even sports clubs chose sides. There were Adidas people and Puma people. Each brother built a factory on opposite sides of the river, staring each other down from across the water. The rivalry wasn't just business, it was deeply personal. Adi focused on innovation, creating lighter, more comfortable shoes for athletes. Rudi, always the marketer, pushed aggressive sales and endorsements. Both companies started to rise quickly in post-war Europe, building global empires. Adi Dassler's Adidas exploded onto the world stage through one brilliant move, sponsoring the West German football team in the 1954 World Cup. His screw-in studs gave players better grip on muddy fields, and when West Germany beat the mighty Hungarians, it wasn't just a victory for football, it was a victory for Adidas. Almost overnight, Adidas became the symbol of excellence, performance, and national pride. Adidas had turned sports innovation into global branding genius. Rudi, never one to sit in his brother's shadow, pushed Puma in his own bold direction. He signed American sprinter Tommie Smith, who shocked the world at the 1968 Olympics by raising a fist for civil rights during the medal ceremony. Puma wasn't just about sports. It became a symbol of rebellion, courage, and attitude. Rudi gave Puma its edge, aligning the brand with icons who didn't just play, they made statements. As the decades rolled on, Adidas became a giant in football and Olympic sports, while Puma carved out its identity in sprinting, basketball, and urban fashion. Both brands became household names, spreading across continents and dominating markets. Yet, despite all the fame, money, and global reach, the bitterness between Adi and Rudi never faded. Two brothers who once built shoes under the same roof had built empires on opposite sides of a lifelong feud, and they took that silence to the grave. The cost of rivalry. The Dassler brothers' rivalry became legendary, but it also came at a great cost. Their families stopped speaking. Workers refused to talk to friends employed by the rival brand. Herzogenaurach earned the nickname the Town of Bent Necks, because people would look at your shoes before deciding whether to speak to you. Even after both brothers passed away, their graves were placed at opposite ends of the same cemetery, a final symbol of their lifelong bitterness. The family feud had shaped an industry, but it had also torn a family apart. Yet, despite the personal cost, their business legacy is undeniable. They created two of the world's biggest sports brands that still dominate today. Legacy and reconciliation. While Adi and Rudi had both passed away without ever speaking again, the next generation was ready to end the silence. Today, both Adidas and Puma stand tall as global powerhouses. Adidas dominates the world of football, Olympic gear, and performance wear. Puma, meanwhile, has carved out its own bold identity in streetwear, pop culture, and lifestyle fashion. From working with Kanye West and Beyonce to partnering with Rihanna and Neymar, both companies know how to stay relevant. They've embraced change, pushed innovation, and spoken directly to the youth, proving that their roots may be old, but their vision is always fresh. Business schools still teach the story of Adi and Rudi Dassler, not just as a tale of success, but as a lesson in the human side of business. It's about how passion can build empires, but pride can break families. In the end, the legacy of Adidas and Puma is not just written in profits or sponsorships. It's written in the lives they've touched, the cultures they've shaped, and the long journey from rivalry to respect. So, the next time you tie your sneakers, whether they're Adidas or Puma, remember this: those shoes carry the legacy of a family torn apart. The Dassler brothers didn't just build shoe brands, they created a rivalry that shook a town, changed an industry, and left a footprint on the world. Which brand do you wear more, Adidas or Puma? And knowing the story behind them, has your view changed? If you found this video engaging, like, share, and subscribe for more amazing business stories just like this one.